going to vote for somebody. But I'm not going to vote for these
way
people.
better than Ann Kuster. So, you.
Oh, well, yeah, I can't tap dance, though. But, I mean, come on, Kevin, do you believe that?
No, I'm
shut up,
with you. No,
eat the haggis, and vote for these jackasses.
What I said is I'm just going to attack
Give
Democrats.
it up. Don't believe anything.
I'm just going to attack Democrats because that's something I feel honest about doing.
And David Booten's not a Democrat?
No.
Nancy Stiles is not a Democrat?
Closer.
Jeb Bradley's not a Democrat?
Even closer.
Close.
Come on.
Well, at least attack the Democrats that are calling themselves Democrats and running as Democrats. And
I admire them for
attack
doing
Democrat philosophy, attack Marxism, attack Democratic Party philosophy. That's what I'm going to do.
You mean like expanded Medicaid? What else? More gas taxes? What else?
SB 120.
SB 120, shut up and sit down. I'm tired of that. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And every time I get one of these emails, everybody says, "You know what, Susan? We'd like you to come and sit at the table, and we're gonna roll up a newspaper. We're gonna whack him on the nose, and we're gonna say, you know what? You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I have a dog like that.
I understand.
Jiminy Christmas! I'm sorry. See, I told you it was a rant.
No, it's a good rant, though. I certainly understand.
Yeah, no, this is most excellent. And, sorry, Skip, by and large, I'm going to attack Democrats and shut up about most of the Republicans. But, Skip, go ahead.
My problem is the hypocrisy that underlies this all. Because you listen to Jennifer Horn or Matt Mowers or any other surrogate that puts out an e-blast or says anything to the mainstream press, and they're always blaming the Democrats. Well, that's their job. But it's when they blame the Democrats for something that Republicans have done that you look at the perfidy of that and you go, what the heck? If they're going to call the Democrats all kinds of names, and that's fine, we do that all the time at Granite Rock, and a lot of people seem to forget that. What we attack is any kind of hypocrisy. We don't care whether it's a Democrat or Republican one. If you say that you're a Republican and you don't align yourself with the Republican principles, or you conveniently forget or deliberately mislead that Republicans have gone off the reservation and acted like Democrats, I'm sorry, that's where I have the biggest problem.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
And that's what they don't want to face up to. That email that you read, Susan, is a perfect example of that. And what they seem to not get is what I've been saying for a while now. Winning is only the precursor. It's what you do with that power afterwards that counts. And what we've been seeing is they only care about the winning. And afterwards they go, we'll just do what feels good. It's the 60s philosophy of, okay, what feels good and keeps hopefully our seats in those, our butts in those seats afterwards. And this is the case where it's backfiring on Booten and others. As of last week, most of the Republicans were losing here in the state of New Hampshire. Steve Allen Court stuff all aside. But if you look at the national polls from the national sites looking at all this stuff, at the governors, the senators, and the others, they were losing.
So does that mean then, you mentioned the 60s, so let's riff off of that for a second. Does that mean...
Can we riff after the break, please?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning, the Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested riveting radio show, heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW, New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at GerardAtLarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
This is the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is the repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
All right, we are back. Susan keeps trying to give the headset to Skip, but he won't take it, which means he's going to be taking mine again.
You're going to be so sorry.
Well, we're going to talk about libertarians now.
Well, so we mentioned we mentioned the 60s philosophy. Is it in fact the problem that many of the Republican legislators with which we have so much trouble are in fact also creatures of the 60s and think like the Democrats?
I think that's true.
Okay.
I know a lot of them, yeah.
We'll have to do an analysis, but you could be right. They're all about the right age.
So I don't disagree with what Susan was saying.
And
at
some
all,
of us
actually.
are, and we don't espouse those
Absolutely.
Philosophies. The only laissez-faire I espouse is economic laissez-faire.
Always have.
There are
Always will.
also a lot of 60s-based kind of libertarian utopians out there, and I think that's just as much of a challenge. So my audience with this rant were really the libertarians and the anarchists that I think despise conservatives more than Marxists, more than liberals. So those are the people I was really speaking to that won't, they hate conservatives. And I talk to a lot of them all the time, and they get much more animated in their anti-conservatism, anti-Christian, anti-religious,
anti-morality,
as they do with the Marxist.
All right,
people.
could you just give him that, please? Take this, because no, we're not doing it this way.
I miss Skip's analysis, actually.
You can trade it back and forth.
Or social conservative.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I watched it in the Ron Paul campaign. They were way more animated about going after like a Rick Santorum.
It's not just social; it's also fiscal, because they think the fiscal conservatives are all neocons in with the, let's take the rich people, oil money, all that crap. It's all the same song.
And any conception
which
of,
basically means that some of these guys are communists, not libertarians.
And that's what I think.
Real libertarians are about the Constitution, about limited government, not no government,
They'd be
and
libertarians.
about freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. And if you go the route of freedom from religion, you are in fact bordering on a communist, not a libertarian.
Yeah. I think I've been working for 2 years trying to pull those folks in to the kind of conservative coalition. Worked with a lot of the Ron Paul people, and some of them are just. No, they're just not pullable, and the animus they have towards conservatives is just palpable, and so that's what I was trying to speak to here. That I think those folks are not going to work towards a conservative coalition at all. I think they really are much more angry at, the people that they perceive to be against marijuana, the people they perceive to be against their rights, and so that really concerns me, and I think that they're out there.
It's a tough row to hoe, actually, because they are.
I know
pretty much committed.
There's big L libertarians and there's little L libertarians. And it's the big L libertarians that make me crazy, that are going to plant their freaking flag on the hill of marijuana and die for it and not care about anything else.
Yeah.
And there's such a generational, at least I can say this because
I agree.
I still am a female.
So I see that. Oh.
That there's this whole generational problem of young women today versus those of us that grew up and were on the front lines in the feminist movement, the whole generational shift of women today, I fight with them all the time because they're like, well, those social conservatives, we have huge differences between my generation and young women in their 30s and some of them even in their 40s that just don't really get the whole concept of structure and family and values and morals. Forgive me, morals. Free birth control. There's something called no. It's a declarative freaking sentence. All right. Birth control is no. Okay. No. Get it? It could be an exclamation mark. It could be a question mark. It could be no. Okay. It isn't something. Abortion is not birth control, and that's the jump that's been made.
And abortion isn't even about the right to life, like I was talking about the other day. It was, the entire idea of contraception and then later abortion when they could get it was just another socialist scheme to thin the population on the way to utopia. It has nothing to do with your right to contraception.
To the word no.
Right. So, and then, libertarians, for example, the big L libertarians in particular, will say, well, a woman has a right to an abortion. Do you understand that what you're doing is carrying the water for eugenicists who want to wipe out people like you on their way to their perfect paradise?
And I see all that overlap all the time. I see libertarians and liberals speaking the same language all the time.
And
part of it's what they've been taught. They've been taught badly, and there are assumptions that have been passed along, and young women, forgive me, just really don't. God bless them. They don't get it.
You triggered a little software truism there, Susan. When you
endless
said
do loop. I'm stuck in one. I know it.
No. When you said badly, when software breaks and you look at it and it's exactly how the damn code's written, we say working as badly designed. and that's how our education system is today. It's working as badly designed. It is creating dumb output.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely it. The reason they think that way is because the system has trained them to think that way. And it's given over there, making sure he's out of camera shot.
Yeah.
And it's all about
no,
rights.
Annie's over here.
You know? It's all about rights. Nobody's talking about responsibilities. It's all, what am I getting? I want my pot. You have to give it to me. I want my abortion. You have to give it to me. You're getting in the way of my getting what I want.
There are no consequences for bad behavior, including David Booten. That's bad behavior. There should be consequences.
And you know what? Well, David Booten's behavior should have landed his ass in jail in any reasonable society. Yeah. And I'm perfectly happy for the kiddies to have their pot. I'm also perfectly happy for those of them that have got no self-control to end up in jail when they start a fight or drive a car while under the influence of said pot. Libertarianism isn't anarchism.
Oh,
it isn't a free-for-all. It isn't a total lack of government. It is about governments are instituted amongst men, etc., etc. And just like classical liberalism in Britain in the 19th century was about small government, not smaller than freaking huge.
No government.
Not what did they say about limiting taxes, which basically means limiting the increase. No, how about actually reducing stuff?
Well, it's about a small central government. I mean, locally, it's about pushing control down to the local level. Now, at the local level, if you want to live in a little commune where you tax the crap out of everybody, you can go live over there, because that's where those people are, and you can vote to
Peterborough, right?
Peterborough, yes, and then
we should
Hanneker,
we should declare the entire town of Peterborough a condo development because those are places where you voluntarily go inside the gates and pay through the nose, and every other orifice.
And that's your choice at the local level, but when you go up a couple steps, you no longer have that control. Yeah. And I think that, if we agreed to fight for local control as an issue, not just states' rights as an issue, but local control as an issue, a lot of people can agree on that if you can get past the social issues and everybody clinging to those, their pot. You're like, well, maybe the town of so-and-so can have pot fields everywhere, but what if the town next to them doesn't want that? Are you denying them that right?
Dylan's rule says you may.
All right, we're coming back in a couple minutes to have some more fun. And maybe we'll throw Booten under the bus a couple more times where he belongs. And, there's plenty of other Republicans we can bash in, but we'll probably talk about some issues and a few other things because this is GrokTALK, and that's what we do. We'll be right back.
Senator Jeanne Shaheen said, if you like your current health plan, you can keep it. That's not true, Senator. 22,000 New Hampshire citizens have been kicked off their insurance plans. Hospitals in Rochester, Concord, and Portsmouth, they aren't allowed to provide care under the exchange. Senator, you were wrong in your comments. You should apologize for your misleading remarks. I'm calling Senator Shaheen at 750-3004 and telling her I want my doctor back. You should too.
Paid for by SaberPac.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
We are struggling. Rising healthcare costs are part of the problem. Senator Jeanne Shaheen helped create this mess we're in. As a state senator, her bill chased 21 insurers out of our state. It reduced our choices, raised prices for New Hampshire families, and when Jeanne Shaheen supported Obamacare, it limited access to 10 of our 26 hospitals, reducing our choices again. Tell Jeanne Shaheen she's made healthcare worse. Few things are as important as finding the right doctor. And under Obamacare, that's harder than ever. Over a third of our hospitals no longer available. Our doctors no longer covered. Fewer choices, longer drives. No state has been harder hit than us. And even after watching it impact New Hampshire, Congresswoman Ann Kusters still supports it. Call Ann Kuster. Tell her Obamacare isn't working for New Hampshire.
This is a coalition of New Hampshire taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is the repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now, at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.